I was thinking. I was sick this week. Well, I had a runny nose, and where I come from, Manland, that means I had the flu and was about to die. And while I was in the death throes, asking for young Pierre and deciding how to split the Bazukov fortune, I began wondering what there is to do when you're ill. I suppose the answer to that really depends on how long you'll be ill for. If you've got cancer, well, isn't that a cum-tard cream and a float of coffee? But at least you can make a 1 to 200 sized replica of the Titanic out of Lego blocks. I mean, you know, if you're not incapacitated by tremendous pain. Someone with explosive diarrhea can at least sit on a decreasingly white throne and really thoroughly examine their feet, or read a book with lots of short sentences, or even watch TV through a complex positioning of mirrors, or if, you know, they have a phone. What I'm really talking about is occupying yourself when you're really too ill to focus your eyes, and getting up makes you feel like Richard Burton after he's realised he's been married 3 times but only to 2 women. Of course, the one thing you can hold on to, like the fact that Richard Burton married another 2 women, vastly improving his marriages to wives ratio, is that there's more life to come. Unless, of course, you die and then you aren't ill. Corpses don't sneeze. See, Mum and Dad, 30,000 quid on 3 years on medical school wasn't a complete bust. I actually googled advice on what to do when you're ill in one of my lucid moments in between speaking in tongues and vomiting black bile, and all the advice was to learn the piano or play solitaire or do some gardening. Do some gardening, Google! I'm not trying to defraud the disability office. I've not got post-traumatic stress disorder. I need to lay down and sneeze and cough and sweat, you knobhead. So what can you do when you're in bed and you've slept as long as you can? Well, TV's out because it irritates the eyes, and fuck me, have you seen it during daylight hours? It's like brain damage. Maybe you could listen to something if you could muster the strength to roll out of your crusty bedwear, but to be honest, when I've got a touch of manflu, I usually can't stand the cackling bullshittery of the radio, or some podcast made by 2 chodes talking about boglins, or even the auditory auto-fellatio of something like a TED Talk. I'm talking about what to do when you're full on Helen Keller, when you're Robocop, when he was in between Murphy and Robocop, when he was just Torso Man, and the first option is obvious but dangerous. It can be very tempting to have a wank, but unless you're hermetically sealed into your bed, you risk dying from exposure after the blood runs to your cheeks and away from your exposed feet. You could lose a leg. But there's also a problem of getting really hot and then finding you've created a puddle of sweat, get your mind out of the gutter, which gets cold. Let's move on. That's too physical anyway. You want things you can just do with your mind. Make a list of people you want dead, memorize their names, memorize the locations on the list. Number 46, Jack O'Brien of crack fame, you fucking waste of teeth. Think about all the boring questions people ask at dinner parties that are failing. You know, the sort of games the host makes people play when she slowly begins to realise no one's talking to each other because she's made everything awkward because she's nothing but an attention whore. I don't know where this is coming from. And prepare your answers to such questions. Which celebrities would you invite to a dinner party if you could? James Dean and James Dean the porn star and Field Marshal von Hindenburg to keep everything simple. What time would you travel back to if you had a time machine? 7 minutes before I left my house to come here so I could slap myself in the face. What's your fantasy job? History professor under Frederick William IV or Colonel Gaddafi lookalike? Basically, I'm saying talk to yourself and let a part of your mind form a straw man that you can be antisocial to. You could frantically worry about all the things you're missing and all the work that's piling up. There's sure to be a shitload coming your way once you're back on your feet. But don't worry, you can settle yourself by thinking about how unworried you'll be when you inevitably die. The memories of you soon gone. Everyone who knew you or knew someone who knew you dead soon enough too. All anxiety vanquished and all accomplishment or struggle for naught. No one fails when everyone dies. And with that in your head, you can just lay on your back and thank the ceiling for not being dead. I mean, for you not being dead, not the ceiling not being dead. You could have a conference call with other sick people. I say conference call because you don't want to get sicker by putting a dirty telephone to your ear, and you don't want to get bored with the mucus breathing of just one other infected voice. See how long it takes for family members to be sucked in when you start telling them you almost died in your sleep and the experience changed you, and Tezcatlipoca has made you an agent of death and the time of blood is coming, and I will have more chicken noodle soup, please. Shout at the children for making too much noise. If you don't have any children, shout out the window. Some children are sure to hear you. Think about all the time you wasted when you weren't ill and hate yourself for it. Start realistically making a will in your head and forming grudges against family members that may be real or maybe just clever misdirection. Play hangman with yourself. In short, I don't know, I just don't know, okay? Just be ill, get better, pretend you've been in prison for 30 years and you're getting out in 4 days. What do you want from me? Well, that passed 4 minutes, didn't it? Just a thought. Of course, you could just go to work and enjoy infecting your colleagues like the bastard you are.